Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. I'm making the classic Isaac mistake. Just had an amazing run on a Friday night. Should finish it off right there instead of fishing for more, but we're fishing for more. A44V for RR7. I gotta tell you though, stats immediately very good. Very, very good. HP is an exception, but at the same time, 2 Spirit Hearts is... You know, it's not like we're immediately on watch or anything like that. Just relax on that one. And do not take the pill. The Zane may not strike twice. So prepare yourself, sir. But yeah, the last run, legitimately, one of the most fun Isaac episodes I've recorded in a long time on pure Isaac gameplay, strength, and so on and so forth. Speak now or forever hold your peace. That was a good one. But I got a little bit of extra time tonight. And a little bit of, you know, guilt, I guess. The guilt is just like, I can't stop yet, I haven't worked hard enough today. Even though I got Isaac in the backlog. I'm like, you know, we don't have to. But I would feel better if we grinded a little bit more. Let me try this. I'm actually pretty stoked. That's pretty solid. Although it has also... removed the trinkets effect, which is not as good. Okay. Alright, well that's that. But, it's still a good pill, don't get me wrong, and it's pretty good as well. The idea is like, hey, yeah, I could have worked 75% of a full day today. But what if at some point in the future, I only want to work 75% of a full day? I would rather work the 75% of a full day on a day where I only want to work 75%. Today I got the appetite. I got the hunger. Just like Columbus, he got the bloodlust. You know what I'm talking about, presumably. Anyway, if you would just please get yeeted, this would help me out a great deal, especially if you dropped like a penny alongside of it. No, the HP is fine as well, though. Why didn't I use the, oh, that's because we got rid of, I get it now, never mind. That's how you know I've been recording too much. The snot tier got gulped. Flatworm was something we had dropped, which is why our tiers got weird. Or really, our tiers got normal, which looked weird to me. But yeah, I thought it was, you know, in all likelihood, we were not going to need the shears to beat our first floor boss. So instead, why not take a little bit of a lark and open up that golden chest? And the dividends remain unpaid. But that's okay. Slight bit of damage never hurt anybody. I understood the irony of the sentence as soon as it crossed my lips, but there we are. Try this as well. I was just gonna say, all we need is a penny, and all we got is a penny. I feel like we're shooting like green saltwater taffy or so. It's like green candy. I've been thinking about this question a little bit. I don't eat a lot of candy. I know a couple episodes ago I talked about Smart Sweets. Occasionally I'll dip into Kate's Smart Sweets. Don't tell her. You can tell her. It's just... The reason I say don't tell her is not because I'm, you know, getting away with something. It's more like she already knows. So if you're going to tell her, you should tell her something she doesn't know. Like switching to Geico could save you 15% or more on your car insurance. I don't really want Wiggle Worm, honestly. I don't really want to use my shears for that. That was close. We almost got tagged on that one. Wouldn't have been too deleterious, but a little dangerous for sure. But I don't eat a lot of candy. And sometimes people ask the question, you know, what's your favorite candy? I think I have, not like unbelievable answers. You know, I'm not like candy corn. You know, I recognize. I do think I like candy corn more than the average person. Apparently, it's like one of the most hated candies out there. I get that it has a certain wax-like quality to it, but, you know, are we really gonna, in our own way, wax philosophical about the merits of high fructose corn syrup and sugar molded into various different shapes and coated in a variety of different powders? Apparently, yes, that's what my brand is. But I think I'm not very much a chocolate guy. Like, I know you can draw a semantic. They're both so good, dude. You gotta start here, and then go with this. But I'm not gonna lie, it hurt a little bit to get so low on HP. But I mean, these are two of the best spacebar items, or two of the best devil items. Okay, maybe don't do that right off the bat. A lot of people will, you know, say that candy and chocolate are two distinct entities. And they are, but I think they share enough similarities to have it be sensible to, you know, put them in the same camp from time to time. So if we're talking about it on that spectrum, wow, that's just useless. I'm not much of a chocolate guy. I don't really like the chocolate bars that much. I don't really like the, you know, the, Snickers bar is okay, but apart from, like, pure chocolate, no thank you. I'm not really a big M&M's guy. Reese's Pieces I can get down with, but I'm like a fruit / sour candy guy. You know, I like a Starburst. Oh, baby. I like a Skittle. I will admit, I like a Sour Patch Kid. I like those weird watermelon slices you get. I don't so much... Really, you're gonna do it on both sides of the room? I don't so much like the fuzzy peach rings, but you all allow it in certain circumstances. The other one that throws people for a loop sometimes, because I think they might be actually the most beloved candy out there. I don't really like gummy bears. I just like... I don't find them unpleasant. It's not like I don't like them. I just like them less than other candies. I derive very little pleasure from a gummy bear. Like, if you were going to give me, like, a gummy bear or candy corn, I would honestly rather have the candy corn. I know it's madness, probably, but at the same time, it's just the honest-to-goodness truth. When I think of eating a gummy bear, I'm like, yeah, okay. Little sweet. Little chewy. It's got a little firmness. It pushes back against you a little bit. Not to be weird. Too late, I guess. But I get it, you know. But a candy corn, I'm like something about a candy corn. It just surpasses a gummy bear for me. And candy corn isn't even close to the top of the list. I don't know. Maybe I don't eat enough candy to have it be relevant. The important thing is, I think there's potato chip people, and there's chocolate bar people. I'm definitely a potato chip person. I would probably rather have a fake health food potato chip than have M&Ms. I know, it sounds bizarre. I'm hitting you with all sorts of hot takes. I'm not saying a parsnip chip is better than an M&M. I think I just enjoy salt more than sugar. That's what it comes down to. I get it, salt, ha 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 ha. Whoa. It's the honest to goodness truth, though. I never found sweetness that much up my alley. Most of the time. Some of the time, like if you're... I always used to go out on like super long bike rides. Long for me at least, so you know, like, I don't know, maybe like 20 or 30 kilometers, which is not super crazy, but you know, it's enough that sometimes when I got home, my body would be like, you know what? What if you just like ate sugar? Sometimes like I'd get out on my bike ride and I'd get halfway to like the point where I turn around, and the whole way back, all I can think about in my head is like, dude, freaking Skittle would taste so good right now. When I get home, I'm gonna devour some of those Skittles we got at the movie theater 3 months ago, but we got popcorn as well, so we didn't need the Skittle, but it came with a combo deal, so it's not like I'm gonna say no to the Skittles, so we just kind of shoved them into the back of the snack drawer. Finally, those Skittles shall serve a purpose. Then I eat like it, you know, way too many, and I don't even enjoy it after the first couple. You know, you're like, this is great. It's saving me from passing out. And then a second later, you're like, I'm not even sure that was worth it at all. But when the body wants something, the body wants something, dude. Like, apparently I used to do a lot of cardiovascular exercise. But I used to do, like, long runs as well. Most of the time, I was like, A-okay, no problems. Some of the times, on the way back from the gym, because I am like one of those weirdos. When I run outside, I get bored. When I run inside, I'm like, look at all these distractions here. It also unusual, I'll admit. Yo, the mulligan is great here. We're a little spiced on HP, obviously, but the flies are their money. You get that, that's all we need to say about that. I don't want to fight you anymore. You are kind of annoying, but our damage output is just ridiculous. Sometimes I would come home from running. You know, I run like, I don't know, 10 or 15K, and then pass by a convenience store, and my body is like, I know why, by the way, if you're gonna, it's all your body lost a lot of electrolytes and water during your run. But my body would be like, hey dude, buy a Gatorade and then walk a second outside of the store and just chug that thing in the parking lot. And I do it, and I'm like, oh, that's great. Those rare times you give your body exactly what it wants for good reason. Oh, baby. There's a sense of satisfaction it's hard to put a price on. Now this run, it's very interesting. Offensively, it's kind of ridiculous. Like, it's aggressively overpowered for where we are in the game. Defensively, all I can really say is I really wish I hadn't walked into the same fire on the same room 2 times. I think just having a little bit more HP would really could provide me with a lot of utility right now. That one spirit heart I threw away without really having a care in the world. Turns out there's some merit to that HP, and perhaps should have been a little bit more cognizant of where I was going instead of merely walking in whatever direction felt soundest. However, I think we're pretty okay still. It really comes down to the shop. Just get as far away from this guy as I can. He's a ticking time bomb, dude. The faster we can find the shop, the better this will be for us. The bean is, of course, not very good at all. Little Monstro. Hey, man, he was an integral part of our previous run. I'm not gonna hate on him. He ain't heavy. He's my brother. Oh, you almost got 2 for 1. I mean, if we could get, like... Well, 9 lives, yes. But if we could get, like... 2 spirit hearts... I don't think anything will stop us. I don't think we'd have to think about the quality of the run ever again. Unless we encountered a room with very deliberately placed fires, in which case, I don't know, I couldn't be held accountable for my actions or my deeds. Okay. Really should have taken that time to dust the champion. Because 1 hit from him, and it's cancel Christmas. What is going on here again? What is that's going on out there? Also making a bad habit of not using the shears as much as I should have. How often should I use it? I mean, I think you can make an argument for like almost every room right now that provides you with a little bit of fear in your heart because of the fact that we're not, you know, HP-wise, we're in a very spicy position. So we'll take the Spirit Heart. Champion belt's quite nice, honestly. And the Fool card, I mean, we could make it work. We can make it work. Anyway. I'm a salty over sweet sort of guy. Given the choice, I've said this many times. If you leave, like, if you bought tortilla chips and we're like, hey, don't eat those tortilla chips. I'm telling you, I would do everything in my power to respect it and I would succeed for a long time. But if you didn't eat the tortilla chips within a month, I would eat the tortilla chips. I couldn't help myself. At some point, my willpower would break down. And you might be like, that's fair. If they really wanted them, they should have eaten them within that month-long period. I very much disagree. I think it's a short-sighted view. At the end of the day, they purchased the tortilla chips. Just because they didn't eat them as quickly as you would have, that doesn't indicate that the tortilla chips are more deserving in your belly than in theirs. I acknowledge the fault is with myself on this one. If you bought a box of Oreo cookies and left it in plain sight, it would remain safe from harm. Sincerely. Ad infinitum. You might, after like 6 months, I might start to be like, maybe I should just take these Oreos to get them out of the house. But at that point, I still wouldn't, probably. Your safe foods are, or sorry, your sweet foods are relatively safe for me. So I actually didn't mean to open that up. I was pondering. I didn't realize I was right on top of it. But on the other hand, I'm pretty happy that we got it. I just want to own up. That was an ill-gotten gain. Still a touch spiced. But, you know, that's where half the fun lies. Dude, Guppy's tail is gonna... We're gonna have to take out a key mortgage here. That really more implies that you got a mortgage on your keys, which doesn't really make any sense, because, I mean, if you got a mortgage on something you don't have, I feel for you. That sounds pretty... That sounds bad. Kind of betrays the purpose of the mortgage to begin with. The hermit. I think we'll hermit right away. Now, in general, we have a deal with the devil, fast approaching. If we're going to get chaos, we should probably get chaos after the deal with the devil, but before the item room. My 2 cents. And really, like, I still think we're fine. We're kind of like treading water, but I think we're fine. What I would love to see is either a big spirit heart injection, like, you know, the pajamas would be pretty good, or alternatively, 9 lives from our deal with the devil would, like... I would play the rest of the run with Reckless Abandon at that point. Or Reckless Abaddon. If you see fit. That's kind of both of the things I would desire simultaneously. A lot of HP, a lot of survivability. We should take it. We maybe should not take it, but I am gonna take it. It's a very interesting choice, you know, to stay in this somewhat dangerous circumstance. So I think we'll grab this and then we'll go back to our... Oh, hate that. We'll go back to our shop where we actually have a key now, and... I don't know, I mean, the run is offensively very strong. I just worry my brain glycogen is at a brand new low. This will be a very terrible one to lose, because it's well equipped. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Two keys? It must be my birthday. Okay, let's crack this open. We got another key. 2 keys with a little house in the middle? Okay. That's not good enough. It's close, I think, but it's... I do like the bombs that are sad. I can't deny that. And the item we're leaving behind is Lil Baggy. Because I think that the pills are not their money, nor are the worms. I don't want them. The last thing I'm going to do, I really do not care about an arcade. So I think money is not as valuable as a key is to us right now. So Deep Pockets actually could have gotten us there, maybe. 2 bombs and 5 cents for a key. It's a terrible trade until you remember that we have sad bombs, and then you realize it's an unbelievably bad trade. No, but we have 18 bombs and 1 key. And bombs don't always give you access to the item room. It really depends. So I'm feeling pretty good here. Everything that I've said so far, by the way, is the truth. If we go out to eat and my wife doesn't finish her entree, she's like, "Do you want this?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." If she doesn't finish her dessert, she goes, "Do you want this?" I go, "No, really." Sometimes I'll eat it anyway. Man is a fickle creature. Just not that into the sweet stuff for whatever reason. I don't know why. Well, I shouldn't say that. I was thinking about, like, my parents, as one does, when wondering how your own taste came out in a certain way. My dad has a real sweet tooth for sure. But my mom, she's more, and I hesitate to say this because I know the internet. She's more of she likes the salty flavor profile. So I think I just inherited that. I wonder to an extent what, you know, like maybe when I was, this is a real story by the way, but also a hypothetical question attached to it. My mom said that when she was pregnant, she ate hoagies all the time. And a hoagie is just like it's a submarine sandwich basically. Now, could be coincidental. Moreover, hoagies are a beloved food. It's not like it's extremely rare to find someone that enjoys a, you know, a salami sandwich. But for real, they said that my first word as a human being on planet Earth, the first word that would, you know, your page one, you open it up, my autobiography, what were the first words out of the mouth of the babe? Hoagie. Not a joke. I know it sounds almost too perfect, but it's the honest to goodness truth according to my parents at least. And one of my favorite foods, though I dare not eat it because I would eat, you know, 10 a day and, you know, die very quickly. Can't tell a lie, dude. It's like a salami any kind of submarine sandwich, basically. I wonder to some extent if that's out of my hands, you know? If it's not determined by the secondhand nutrients I was fed while I was, you know, just chilling. It's weird, you think, you know, if you thought about locking me in a prison that's slightly too warm for 9 months, feeding me the same stuff every day, I would like to think that when I got out, I would never eat that again. Clearly, that was not the case. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Interesting to think about. I'm trying to think of what people's favorite foods are. If it makes any sense. I don't know. I feel like pizza's up there. Ice cream's up there. Fried chicken, perhaps. Hamburgers. I'll level with you. As long as we're doing weird food takes. Not weird, but perhaps slightly in the minority. I think hamburgers are overrated. For me. For me! I'll take a good sandwich over a good hamburger any day of the week. Now, a bad hamburger, I'd probably take that over a bad sandwich, but, you know, I would also never go back to that establishment again, so everything else here is just academic discussion, I suppose. Tarot cloth, the tower, let's make our escape. And, you know, we might as well take this. I'm a little surprised that we were too slow to get to boss rush here, but I think it might honestly just be, like, our literal speed. If we had like 1.6 speed, I think we would go fast enough to have made it up to the boss rush, but whatever. If you're gonna say that many uhs in a sentence, you have to use your John F. Kennedy voice. Up to the boss rush. So I was gonna say that's more Mayor Quimby from The Simpsons, but it's kind of the same thing. No deal with the devil. That's okay, because we already got the deal with the devil on that floor, right? Am I? Yeah, I think I'm correct. It was a bunch of red chests that made me hate game design. Moving on. I think... Whoop, if we could get homing tears, which is a big ask, but if we could get homing tears, one bomb will probably clear out like every room in the game. And I gotta tell you, we've really struggled to become Guppy lately. We pick up the Guppy items. We don't necessarily get the Guppy payouts out of them. And we get the payout for the item. I know. Look, okay, it's getting a little late over here. I think I've decided at this point I probably just should not have recorded one more episode. Not because I've said anything regrettable, but rather because my brain is just like, nah, dude, you're tired. It's 9 p.m. Get out of here, dude. Get out of the office. Go home. See your family. Pet your cats. We'll take get out of jail free. I mean, maybe we could use that to fight Mega Satan. Re-stimulate parts of the old cerebrum here. Have a little wake up. I hate you. I just do not like you, Matriarch. I like that you're a new boss, but on the other hand, I believe you are disproportionately difficult for the phase of the game in which you appear. You've ended so many of my streaks lately. This is great because it also gives us empty vessel in return, because we didn't have it before. Dude, I gotta tell you. So I've been thinking, so I've been listening to audiobooks to fall asleep for a long time. Audiobooks and podcasts, but mostly audiobooks lately. I actually have come to terms with the fact that I'm gonna have to start actually reading again, which, by the way, is not a bad thing. I was in a reading phase for a while, but then it got replaced with working out, which I'm still doing, but in some ways gotten replaced with, you know, the new stuff on YouTube, at least in terms of being my #1 passion at the moment. But the workout, it's compulsory. You gotta keep it going. The reading, you could be like, let's not do it tonight, and then you just don't realize it's been, 6 months. But I actually, and this is it's a humble brag. It might not even be humble. It might be like a legitimate, real brag. But it's one of those brags I think everybody can be happy for me for. You know, it's not like, I just bought a Lamborghini, and everyone's like, good for you. But the brag is, I think every night for like the past 2 weeks, more or less, I've been falling asleep in such record time that I remember quite literally nothing of what I was listening to the night before, which makes it very difficult to follow stories. On the other hand, I don't want to mess with that because, sleep is more important, honestly. And it's like, if you had asked me to trade, hey, would you rather, follow along with whatever audiobook is on right now or whatever podcast you're listening to, or have a solid 7 to 8 hours of sleep using that as a lullaby? I mean, I understand many of you listening to this are asleep right now, so, I think you know the answer. Help. But, at the same time, some of these books, I'm like, dude, they're pretty interesting. I hear 10 words, and I'm like, wow, this guy's got a bunch of good ideas. And then I wake up, and it's like, presented by Random House. And I'm like, well, this episode is sponsored by ZipRecruiter, the easiest way to fill a position. Thousands of applicants are at your fingertips on ZipRecruiter. Anyway, you get the idea. I think I gotta start reading again, because I'm sleeping too well. It's very much not a problem, but it's something that's been on my brain. I say this with only the slightest hint of irony. If, like, a huge apocalypse or apocalyptic event happens, or a solar flare, or an enormous EMP goes off or something like that, or, no natural resources to burn for electricity anymore, I'm screwed. I'm screwed for a number of reasons, one of which is, I have a great survival instinct, to be honest, but I really lack the killer instinct. I watched too many Disney movies as a child and probably as an adult, to be honest. The thought of inflicting harm, is basically, like, I eat meat, but if you were like, you have to kill your own meat, I'm like, I can't do that. That creature has a family. So the thought of having to sustain myself, I think I could do it, but if I had to do it at somebody else's expense, mentally I would be shot. I'm not one of those people. Some people are, and I find it so strange. It'll be to their benefit if society collapses, I'll admit. But the kind of people who are like, man, I got one heck of a survival instinct. I would relish the opportunity to put it to the test. I'm like, you don't need the apocalypse, brother. You need a dang therapist. You need to talk to somebody. Because you seem way too interested in watching your fellow man suffer. That's something you should get under control. But the other reason would be I would not sleep well. At least for a couple of months. I would be like, there's no need. I can't listen to hardcore history before bed. That'd be one of the worst ways to die. Slowly, like, just run down because your cardiovascular system isn't that good because you didn't have a great night's sleep because you couldn't listen to a podcast. I do, by the way, listening to stuff to fall asleep, I'll level with you. It's basically like an adult bedtime story. It's like a weighted blanket or a nightlight, just in a different way. But I like it. And it's a very, you know, have your cake and eat it too situation. I just wish I remembered more of the audiobook as I was falling asleep. On the other hand, if I wanted to be very misleading, I could tell you, I've read like probably 20 books so far in 2020. Some of them I've read 20 times. If your book is under 8 hours long, I read it once a day. It's just that valuable. But trust me, I'm not complaining. I still have the occasional night of bad sleep, but I feel like it's one of those things. When I was younger, I had like serious bouts of insomnia. On a couple of occasions, on many occasions, like once a month. Hold on, I just want to see what we got here. Joker. I think we're just gonna go for it. Little risky, worth it, I think. We won't take the other one because we're not one away from Guppy, I think. But even like when I worked in Korea, probably like once a month, I would get literally 0 hours of sleep the night before. And then like once a year, I would get like either 0 the next night or close to 0, which is really bad. Like one day, you're kind of like, you know, you can make it happen. You don't feel quite right. The second day, you're like a zombie, dude. But as I've gotten older, like for whatever reason, it's ironed itself out. And I think that's one of those, people don't talk about the perks of getting older that much. I think that people as they get older do tend to sleep better. Like I'm still envious of other sleepers. Like if you can sleep on an airplane, I am extremely envious of you. Mind you, I've structured my life in such a way that I don't fly that much anymore because I love where I live. I don't have to escape it all that often. And yes, I stopped going to media events. Mostly because it just, you know, take like 2 days off from work and play a game that I'm like, yeah, it was good, but like, you know, so was not being at an airport and raising my chance of getting sick by like 1,000%. But if you can sleep on an airplane, I'm jealous. I would love to get on an airplane in Vancouver. You know, after takeoff, watch a movie, pass out 6 hours later, wake up on descent to Tokyo. I think that would be like a superpower to me, but I'm not there yet. And my dad, I'm very jealous. Whenever we watch like a movie, within the first 45 minutes, he will be asleep if we're watching it at home. As a kid, I was like, that's lame. As an adult, I'm like, that's the greatest gift. Teach me. It's incredible. You're telling me you don't want that power? The power to fall asleep at will? When a movie's on? If a movie's great, I'd like to turn the power off. However, if you're watching like the first 45 minutes and you're like, I don't really think this thing's for me, I'd rather have the nap, honestly. I'm envious. I'm quite envious. Oh, we should have done it, dude. We should have taken the other guppy item. They made me ashamed of my words and my deeds. I probably just walked into a bomb there. I wouldn't get too bent out of shape. I'm just trying to get a charge, honestly. I think, you know, things happen as you get older. Even at 31, like, I'm pretty close to, like, I don't want to say my peak, because that's very, like, seems like very flattering for the way I actually feel when I look at myself in the mirror. But that's probably true. I think, you know, in terms of, like, physicality and, like, mental acuity, probably in your mid to late 20s and early 30s, probably all the way through your 30s, honestly, you're probably like, hey, you're in a kind of a golden age, right? Even still, sometimes I'm like, I find myself being like, when I was younger, I think that would have healed faster. When I was younger, I think I would have remembered that a little faster. But it compensates for it in other ways. But I definitely do think I've been sleeping a lot better the older I've gotten. Pardon me. I get I had coughed, but it wasn't a cough due to illness. It's just my throat is dry from talking so much. Don't look into it too much. It's just the old streamer cough. I got the black lung, Pop. I got the purple lung. Derek, you've been down there for 1 day. People have been doing this for 30 years. Anyway, you get the idea. So look forward to that if you're on the younger side. If you're on the older side, I hope you're experiencing, well, not the older side, but the older side of my demos. I hope you're experiencing the same thing. I like it. I will also say, a big part of it is, like, actually having a routine. Like, I go to bed at the same time 7 days a week. In university, I would go to bed at the same time 4 days a week. And then the other 3 nights of the week would be completely random. Hey, boys, what's up tonight? I was thinking we would drink 14 beers and chat about stuff we have no insight in whatsoever until 5 a.m. in our basement. Cool, I'm in. Hey, boys, what's going on tonight? Nothing much. I think I'm just all gonna stay in. All right, I'll go to bed at 8:30 then. And then on Sunday night, I'm like, why can't my body fall asleep at will? Now I'm like, 12:30? Hit the sack, brother. And don't you come back. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. See ya. See ya.